It is my unreserved honor to take the podium at this auspicious hour to address the esteemed audience. My unique assignment is very simple. It is simply that of an immense importance to ensuring the active and sustainable representation of women in legislative, judicial, and executive quarters for good governance in West Africa. And I would like to start by saying that empowerment and legislature are key to ensuring women participation in politics, as this is the title of my discourse this morning. In the face of dwindling women representation across West Africa, collective efforts must be made to ensure that our gender gets more representation in government at all levels. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at the high table today, I was particularly happy that this is really how we should be in moving forward. There should be more women representing us. I'm sure you like how colorful the high table is looking this morning. Women constitute an expansive block of electorate in Nigeria. In some countries in sub-region, this is the case as well. They often take the lead in voting during elections. Women, for example, in 2015 general election in Nigeria had 45.8 million registered voters, while men had mere 22.9 registered voters. In spite of that, women being the larger block of electorate, women occupy less than 7% of positions in government. This is both elective and appointive in this country. Accordingly, the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, statistically represented Nigerian women to be, in the same 2015, to have women just at 6.5% in both state assembly, House Assembly, and National Assembly. The Senate has just a little bit higher, 7.34. Well, let's just say 7.0 because that's what it is. In the executive, we are even far less. In Ghana, for instance, a country that has enviable democratic record, women participation in politics is not that impressive either. As of November 2016, Ghana placed 150 out of 185 in the Inter-Parliamentary Union, ranking on women representation. Women representation in Ghana Parliament is about 10.7%. In the executive, they are just 27% as cabinet members. This is commendable though, because it's far much higher than Nigeria, but it is still below our expected and desired threshold. In Togo, according to the Inter-Parliamentarian Union, only 17.60% of seats in parliament are held by women. This is based on 2017 ranking. And in the executive, we have 18.4% on the ministerial positions held by women. Based on these statistics, it is clear that women are not where they ought to be in terms of representation in government. It is for this reason that we must demand at least 30% representation at all levels of government, and we must push this advocacy with vigor and finality. Although there are some women in sub-region breaking barriers to successfully participate in politics, most women, especially those in rural areas, and even those with required technicality and qualifications, are encumbered by social, cultural, and religious practices, inadequate financial resources, volatile political environments, political party discrimination and lack of clarity, and absence of support from family, friends, and media. As most of us know, some social, cultural, and religious practices are serving as wedge to women's participation in politics and inclusion in government. In certain cultures, women are not being heard or even seen, and they are not allowed to own property. This naturally shuts out most women with leadership potential from politics. Legislation is imperative in emancipating women and freeing them from social, cultural shackles. Laws deliberately aimed at improving the plight of women economically and politically must be promoted and passed into law. The laws must prohibit discrimination against women by political parties and must protect women against violence. Legislation backed by implementation is very paramount in the vehicle towards creation of enabling environment for women to participate and strive in politics. Recently, a bill popularly tagged Gender Parity Bill, which aims to give women equal opportunity in workplace, job, education, government, was shut down in Nigerian Senate. Incidentally, the mover of this bill is in our midst today, Senator Olujimi. Senator Olujimi, please stand up for recognition. Such a bill is necessary to break the social, cultural, and economic barriers against women. Politics generally is capital intensive, though this varies from country to country. But the point is, many women lack the means to foot campaign bills. Without economic power, political power is nearly impossible to attain. Women should be empowered economically to participate in politics. This could be by giving their businesses and the pursuit necessary incentives for growth, including indiscriminate access to low interest rates, capital bonds for development, and certainly 50% participation in government skill acquisitions and enhancement program. It is a fact that empowerment of women is empowerment of a nation. We are proposing also that all developmental programs and projects should be anchored on women in their various countries. Our countries will be better off for it if more women are empowered to participate in politics. We as parliamentarians representing women of West Africa must take it a burden upon us to promote and sponsor programs for women in our constituency.